current philosophy of what I think, who I want to be as a teacher, right? My job is offer situations so the kids have to think about math and they get to struggle with it, right? Listen to what goes on. What are they thinking about? What's in their little pea brains, right? Then, what do I do to offer new situations, right? How did I get it so that I think this? There was some motivation along the way. I've been 20 years working in this very interesting job called, well, you'll see, right? And I want to hear their ideas, and I watch people lecture, and they're ignoring the kids' ideas. And I'm sitting in the back going, wait, but stop, you know? And they just keep going on. And then I'm teaching sketchpad workshops, and the teachers are like, yeah, I can push this button, I can do this stuff. But they don't see how they use it in a classroom because it means their classroom has to change, right? And so I'm sitting there going, yeah, you want to use this thing. So that's sort of how I got there. Let's see where I started. So here's my high school. And I majored in athletics, of course. And so in my senior year, I was tutoring one of my friend's little brothers. And I received the Geek Award. So this is the embarrassing part, right? So then I'm playing my guitar and receiving the Geek Award. And I'm tutoring Herbie. And his mom says, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, well, I think I want to be a math teacher. And she said, I would have thought somebody as smart as you would want to be something else. Nonetheless, I persevered. I went to a decent school. I majored in athletics again. I got degrees in math and music, and I also got certified to teach in Pennsylvania, secondary math. I'm still certified because in Pennsylvania, if you don't start teaching, they don't start counting. And when I was student teaching, one of the most interesting things I did was I showed Donald in Math Magic Land. Okay? And the kids, we had these great discussions. It was really fun. We tied it into all this stuff, and I completely missed the fact that it was interesting. Because here's what I think math teaching is. At that time, when I had my own degree, you pick a book, such as these books that I taught from, and some of you did too. Right? These are my grandmother's, and you just pick a lesson, right? And all you gotta do is repeat all the stuff in the book, right? Do some problems, and then don't select too many of the problems for homework. That's my grandmother's note, okay? But that's how you teach math. So instead, I got a job working for Gene Class. We developed some materials, and in the same room, my college classmate, Nick Chakif, was writing the very first version of the Geometer Sketchpad. So I'm surrounded by this stuff. Key and Sketchpad, Sketchpad goes off to Key. We start the geometry forum. I had less hair, Gene had different hair, right? And now in the math forum, I work with teachers, I coach teachers, I work with technology integration, I do a lot of mentoring of kids online. I'm starting to figure out how I get good at this. Here's a problem that you don't have time to solve. I wrote back to a kid and said, your answer isn't right, you know? See if you can find the right answer. Whereas now, many years later, I would say, I'm wondering why you did this one step. Right? And you can look at it later. So I work with teachers who still say things like that thing that I did, you're wrong. Right? They say things like this, and I'm coaching them, and I'm trying really hard to get them not to do these things. They believe this. This is what they believe. And this is what I believed too. When I got out of college, I believed this. And so I decided a couple years ago, it's not the teacher's fault, because otherwise I'll hate them. Why do I want to work with these people who are so stupid, right? They're not. It's not their fault. They don't get it. It's the fault of the teacher schools, right? Okay, I found out that's wrong. Check this out. This is my binder from when I was student teaching at Swarthmore. And this is, you can see it's my Ed 17 Proving Methods binder. You know it's old because it has purple mimeographs in it. Right? And an article about computers and education from 1984, right? And it had this piece of paper in it. Am I an inquiry teacher? I'm like, I have never seen this before in my life. And I'm looking at this, I'm going, I talk about this every day with people. You know, that was 1988, this is 2012. They're talking about these things. Let's look at this last slide. Question, read those. Like, those are the things that we want to be doing in the classroom. How is it that I never heard this in 1988? Why did that happen? What happened to me along the way that helped me believe this is what I believe as opposed to I'm just going to use Delciani and like, I don't have to prepare for math class, right? So I knew what math teachers did, that's what I thought. So I didn't have to pay attention to whatever, they were clearly having interesting conversations in my curriculum and methods seminar, and I was not there. So I wasn't ready to hear any of that, right? So I've been asking my friends this week, how did you get to be the teacher who you are now, right? And here's some things they said. They did this, and they didn't like this thing, and then they had this experience that helped them do something different, right? And you can read what they had to say. And so, see, these are not isolated incidents, I'm sure, okay? Now, the thing is, you guys have homework now, all right? I want to know from you, how did you get to be the teacher who you are, right? What happened? It doesn't have to be a moment. Can you come up with, go to my blog, right? We posted from today. You're going to go and reply and say, what's your motivation, and then how did you get to be, once you figured out you wanted to be someone else, how did you make that happen? All right? So I expect to hear from all of you. All right? So,